Hi, I'm Alex, and for my project, I will use my American culture, even though I was born in Peru, but I personally don't feel comfortable with my Latino culture. So, because I pretty much grew up in the US, in Brooklyn and the Hamptons, I kind of got accustomed to American culture. I will be working with Celine Deng, and she's from China. And so far, what I know about her culture from her is that the stores are walking distance. She doesn't really need a car. So when she came to America, like 3.5 years ago, she had to get accustomed to using public transportation, and she did actually learn how to drive. So that's definitely different from my culture because I know in the Hamptons, everything is at least maybe 10 minutes away by car. So I remember getting my first car when I was 15 and then getting my second car by the time I was 18, for depending on like the weather. So I would have a car when I would go on the beach with my friends in the summer. I would have a car for the snow, and then I would have a car for like going to like a nice restaurant or the mall or a party with my friends. So that's pretty much how my culture is back at home. But for her, she can just walk down the block and she can pretty much get whatever she wants and whatever she needs. She also said that the stores there open a lot later than here. So for us, majority of the stores close maybe 10 o'clock. Maybe some restaurants close very late, it's 12, but usually the kitchen in restaurants close around 10. So for her, the stores are like open to like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., which is very different from here because it's honestly really rare, except for like Domino's or like some late night delivery places that stay up that late. But for her, pretty much every store is open late. Any regular grocery store, anything. Her family isn't religious, so they never really pressured her into being religious whatsoever, but it's never really something that's came up in her family. So for me, that's kind of the same but kind of different. I'm not religious personally. My father's not religious and my mother is not religious, but my grandma is religious. She is a Christian, but she respects the fact that my family has decided not to be any religion. I know my dad's side of the family, they're Jewish and they really, 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 really take that seriously. So, but end of the day, if I wanted to follow any religion whatsoever, it could be from something that's totally out of my family circle. Like, they will support it no matter what. I know I grew up once in a while going to church in case I did want to follow religion. So my parents kind of wanted me to be exposed to those things. Unlike Celine, she was never exposed to any of that. Her family never took her to church, never really gave her the option to learn about other religions like my family did. So I chose Celine because I don't really know anything about Chinese culture. I can't really say I feel comfortable with it. You know, I never really had the need or craving to go visit China or anywhere in Asia, because growing up I was pretty much faced with Europeans and Latinos from South America. So usually when I travel, I'm usually curious to see different places in South America, different places in Europe. I have a lot of family that live in Europe. I have a lot of family that live in South America as well. So I was just never faced with anyone from China, and it just because I know so little, it's never really gave me a curiosity to go and visit. So that's why I chose it, because I think it's something that I absolutely know nothing about except from like movies, and I know some of their food from Chinese restaurants, but I'm very picky with the food because I don't really know what I'm eating. So I usually get the same thing, some sweet and sour chicken or some lo mein. So I don't really try different things and try to explore it, but I think being with Celine will definitely open up my mind, and maybe I'll fall in love with Chinese culture, hopefully. I know for the very first meeting we're going to have is probably end of this week or maybe beginning of this week, and she's planning on taking me to a restaurant. That's what we're planning so far. And she's going to kind of make me try all these foods that I pretty much don't feel comfortable with. So, for example, she mentioned duck. And I was kind of like, yeah, I don't really know if I'm going to eat that. So she's going to purposely order stuff that I feel kind of about, And then when I am the host of what we're doing with American culture, I think I'm going to invite her to my room, and we're going to watch Clueless, which, to me, I feel like Clueless is kind of really similar to kind of like the neighborhood that I live in. So I know like the main character, it's very like American Dream, the main character has a beautiful big white house, which is actually really funny because I live in a white house that's pretty big as well, and the people that she surrounds herself with are very like, they have money, and that's pretty much how like the Hamptons is. That's kind of how I grew up personally, and like she talks about like the character's just very similar to me. Like I know in the movie she tries to like get a professor and fall in love with someone else to help her get her grades up, and I know like that's definitely something my friends would try and do, and it's like definitely something that kids all the time try to do in high school to get away with all these little things to get higher grades. So that's what I'm gonna show her. One thing that I really think is going to affect me and is the fact that I just don't know anything about Chinese culture. So I think I'm really excited to learn. I know she told me that the school is super different, so I'm excited to sit down and talk to her about that. And not only school, but so are the laws, so are the streets and the way people act compared to Americans. So I'm honestly really excited, and hopefully it goes well. So yeah.